This is you at your best, huh?
I just feel like, you know, I can get dressed up sometimes.
Yeah.
Dressed up.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, get in. Come on. Okay, get in. Okay. We're down here checking water this morning, and you can see it's got about, I don't know, 20, 25 yards left to go. So I can go ahead and turn the valve off at the top of the field because there's enough water in the check that it will continue to flow down this way even though we've got it turned off. These two checks are pretty even right here, but if you look over to the next one, it's still got a lot of catch up to do. Once we get the water all situated over here, we've got a bunch of other things that need to be done today. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Next job this morning is weed whacking. I've been trying to do this a little bit every morning while it's cool and just, you know, burn a tank of gas through that string trimmer or whatever it ends up being. If I feel like going a little bit longer, I will, but usually I don't. If you guys remember, along the road pad here, these weeds were all really tall. These are in such an inconvenient place because you can't really mow them with a brush hog because you're on too much of an angle. So really the only choice that you have is just coming in here with the string trimmer and doing it. I think watching me do this in real time would be just about as boring as it is to do. So let's do a time lapse. Well, I lost the battery on the GoPro, but I think in this case that's okay. You guys get the idea. We cut down a bunch of weeds. Next thing I gotta do is run up to the winter pasture, and before I do that, I wanna load up with salt because those cows need salt and the yearlings need salt as well, which is where we will be going after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 4 blocks of the Redmond Farmertylerranch mix. That'll be 1 block at the winter pasture and then 1 block for each pasture at the steer pasture, if that makes sense. Just pulling in here to the winter pasture and try to see if we can find these cows. I've only got 1 cow left over here that's still due to have a calf, and she looks like she's getting close, but I don't know, she is taking her sweet time. You can see that the feed is getting pretty sparse over here, but I really don't want to bring them back home quite yet. I'd like for them to stay here a little bit longer so that I can have more time to stockpile the grass at the home ranch. So I think what we'll do while we're over here is I'll grab the feed wagon, run it back to the ranch, and we'll stuff like 3 bales in it, and then bring it back over here later today. This will tell me how hungry they actually are. If those 3 bales disappear in 2 days, well then yeah, we need to either bring them home or keep bringing them feed. But if the bales last for a while, then we know that even though it looks short, they're still getting enough. It looks like this cow back here is picking at whatever little bitty remnants are left of the last salt block. So I'm gonna try to throw this down right next to her and see if she, you know, puts 2 and 2 together and starts licking on the new one. Well, there you go. She's no dummy. Well, I was gonna go look around and try to find the rest of the cows, but it seems like they're kind of all coming this way. They might have heard that salt block hit the ground and they knew that there was something good over here. Well, there's a pile of them coming up here, but I do not see the one in question, the one that still hasn't had a calf. Well, we found all the kids. You sure got your tail out like you mean business. Number 41 here is who we're waiting on. You could see she's making a pretty big bag. And yes, she is standing there with her tail sticking out like she might be in labor, but I think I just saw her use the bathroom, so I don't think that's what's going on. She is acting a little bit flighty. You can see over my shoulder here, she's walking the opposite way of all the other cattle. Yeah, she is just on the move that way. She's not looking over her shoulder or anything. So kind of odd behavior, because if things were normal, she would be staying with the rest of the herd. But she is going like right back over to where she was when we got here. Unless she's already got a calf over there, which could very well be. Let's go around and look from the other side. So I did want to talk a minute about just the way this cow is acting and what I'm trying to piece together is going on. There's really, in my mind, 2 likely scenarios. I'm gonna roll this window up, keep the dust out. She could have already had a calf that's back over there, and that's why she's running back, and she was kind of like bawling like she was calling for one. So it could be that she's already got one laying over there that's new and it's sleeping and not moving with the herd, and you know, she's just going back to get it. Or the other scenario is that she is in the very beginning stages of labor. That would explain the tail being up, and that would explain her sort of strange behavior. I've seen cows in the very early stages of labor like adopt calves that are not theirs, and just, you know, they're starting to have a hormone rush that's making them feel a certain way, and sometimes they don't always know like what to do with those feelings, I guess is the only way I can think to put it. So that's why I want to go back over here to see what she's running back to, if there is in fact a calf already on the ground, which would be great, or if she's coming back to nothing, then that tells me that we probably need to come back and check on her again this evening. Well, she's back up here in the corral, and there is a calf laying in here, so I am going to assume that's probably hers. Let's see if it's got an ear tag in it. Yep. Yeah, well, there it is. Yeah, she's got a baby up here already. So I'm not sure how old it is. It might be a few days, honestly, but I'm gonna see if I can get an ear tag in it. a little heifer. Well, judging by the navel on that calf, it was definitely not born this morning. It could have been yesterday or possibly even the day before. Although if it was the day before, I kind of doubt I would have been able to catch it. Either way, that calf marks the final calf for the winter pasture. We've still got 2 more cows that are due over at the home ranch, but every single cow that is here has had a calf. The idea behind bringing the round bales out to them is not because they really need them. It's more to just kind of make them happy, because when their bellies are full and they're happy, they're a lot less likely to go around and push on fence lines. We just got over here to the steer pasture. So the first thing, I'm gonna get these salt blocks put out, and then we gotta try to move the yearlings into a new field today. The trick with placing salt blocks out here is I gotta find a place where I can put it where a sprinkler's not gonna hit it. Because nothing makes a salt block disappear faster than having water constantly showering down on it. I always take the labels off, because if I don't, then they're just going to end up out in the pasture somewhere. I know they're out in this field somewhere, but I don't see them. Well, as luck would have it, they're actually right over here by the gate. Took them a minute, but they figured it out. Having this gate open this way is not ideal for trying to get them to come in the way that they did. It'd have been a lot better to swing through the other way, but unfortunately it doesn't do that. It hits this gate here on the perimeter fence, so you can only open it one way. It looks like they're pretty happy to find that Redmond salt block. In fact, I might move it away from the fence because I'm worried that they might break the fence trying to get at it. Scoot, scoot. I know. Just a second. Oh man, the flies are bad, aren't they? Man, just look at them go. You can see the fly pressure is definitely ramping up out here. Hopefully these blocks will help with that a little bit. They do have the garlic in there, which is supposed to kind of deter the flies. And I found that these are a lot more effective in a low density grazing scenario like what these guys are in. Well, while they are doing that, we're gonna walk down here and check on their water, and then I think we can get out of here. Well, the trough is full. In fact, it's over full. I think we're all set. I guess we'll let them tear into it and we can move on to the next thing. Callie's not interested. You know, come to think of it, well, I got the tractor started up and I'm moving bales around. I think the bulls might need another bale. Well, they're not out, but they are getting low. You just came right over, didn't it? Yeah. Okay, if you're a dog, I don't need you. Well, they're actually not as low as I thought, but I bet I could still stuff another bale in there. That could be a problem. Because I used the bale to push up all that old hay. The net wrap is like pinched in there now. But I think I got it all. Yeah, looks like it. I'm sure the cows over at the winter pasture are going to be just the same as the bulls. They're going to tear into the hay not because they're hungry, but because it's something different. Well, we'll do one more hay delivery and then it'll be my turn to go home and eat. It looks like all the cattle are up here under the tree in the shade, so we're gonna park this kind of near them. I'm very curious as to what their reaction's gonna be. Well, I think they like it. And it's no big surprise really that the entire herd rushed the feeder and they're eating that hay as if they haven't eaten in weeks. That's just kind of a typical reaction for them when they get a different kind of food that they're not used to having. The true test, or the way that I will know if they're getting real short on feed out here, is how long this lasts. If this disappears by tomorrow, then you know, they're trying to tell me something. But if it sits out here for 2 weeks and they don't eat all the hay, that tells me something as well. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.